The doll memorial hall, not fucking dolls again. Hello, welcome back to Iwaihime. This is done, and I'm not gonna go too long into this. We're just gonna continue. Iwaimoto Shrine was an elegant shrine located just behind the Iwaimoto shopping district. It had an auspicious reputation, likely due to its name. As a kid, I used to come here to pray before I really locked down my personal popularity.
じゃあ、お掃除をしてる感じの何枚かいただきましょうか。
お掃除ってこんな感じかしら。ピカピカマジックでクリンクリン。どう？リリア、あなたの心をハピハピにできてる？
ふう、いいねいいね。あの可愛らしくて清純なお掃除プリンセスも女子高生になって色気が増してグッとくるね。
そんなことないよ。それはおじさんの心が汚れてるからだよ。お掃除マジックでおじさんの汚れたハートクリンクリンしちゃうぞ。
Photographers writhed as they drooled and fell all over themselves from that killing glow. No man could resist my well-trained charms.
私もおじさんの汚れたハートクリンクリンしちゃうぞ。カメラマンさんたちも思わず脳説美魔女アイドル電撃デビュー。悪いけれど布川さん、私たちは今日からライバルよ。ハマユンは自分のハートをたわしか何かでクリンクリンした方がいいよ。やっぱリリアちゃんは可愛いね。境内を吐いてるだけですっごい絵になるよ。まあそこはさすがだよね。ほらダンシーというかなっち、ふぬけてないで仕事をして。
あのマジカルリリーと一緒にクリンクリンができるなんて。わーグーライト
ナツくん、あんまり賑やかにしちゃお仕事の邪魔だよ。
Yeah, calm down. Just a little bit. Suzuhara seemed cool as always. I was happy Asusa was fired up as always, of course. But I'd be even happier if I could get Suzuhara to act the same. Our eyes happened to meet during the photo shoot. When they did, I remembered the strange dream I'd had the night before. Even after I woke up, I still couldn't get him out of my head. And for some reason, it felt like he was the only one watching me grow. I'd never been in love before, but I was sure this had to be something like love at first sight. Or was it more like watching a shooting star I'd wished on? Was I hoping that I could make it big if I earned Suzuhara's recognition? Whatever the case, I didn't understand why he was such a huge, large presence in my mind when we'd barely spoken to each other. I knew there was no point in thinking about it. After all, there doesn't have to be a reason for destiny.
マジカルリリーも高校生になったわけだけどさ。
はい。
気になる人なんかできちゃったりとかする？あれ、考えちゃう？ひょっとしていたりしちゃう？
I glanced at him. Everyone else was watching me, yet he just kept on cleaning in silence. My blood boiled over with irritation. I was doing this entry in front of everyone to prove to him just how different I was from most people. Of course, I wasn't foolish enough to expect him to understand my appeal so easily either.
気になる人というか、振り返らせたいなって思う人はいます。
おお、それは誰
Are you gonna answer?
誰？俺かな？
No, it's not you, Natsu.
ナツくんは熱心なファンだから、ひょっとしたらそうかもね。
そういう夢の持たせ方はあかんと思うよ。でも素敵だね。リリアちゃんも恋をしてるんだね。
俺のマジカルリリーが恋を マジカルリリーは大きくなったら俺の嫁になるんだ。誰の嫁にもさせん。どぼ。
想像しいとリリアちゃんの仕事の邪魔になるよ。
ブレイ。
That's gonna be his
鈴原くん、あ
download.
つくん、ちょっと来て。お使いお願い。はいはい、私たちもお掃除お掃除。リリアちゃんの気になる人の話聞きたかった。
We said I gotta let the members of the LCSC out of the way.
恋っていうのとはちょっと違うかな。だってリリーはみんなのものだし。
Their way of like avoiding the question.
それとも違うかな。ごめんなさい、うまい言葉が見つからないの。でも私はどうしてもその人に振り向いてほしいって思ってる。
その人はリリアちゃんのことに興味がないの？
そうね、まったく。ほんとひどいよね。リリア泣いちゃうよ。だから私思ったわ。もっと魅力的になって絶対に振り向かせてやるわって。
さすが女子高生のマジカルリリーはイメージも変わって肉食系だね。
茶化さないでったら。私はその人を通じて自分の魅力を力を試したいの。その人に魅力が通じないようじゃ私はまだまだだってね。
いいねいいね。マジカルリリーも恋を知ってますますパワーアップって感じだね。
Harry said it wasn't love. Oh well, he can punch up the story however he pleased. The story's dead in the water without a little spice. The second half of the interview concluded with mostly pointless chit-chat. I didn't have time for that sort of thing, but played along anyway. I said my goodbyes to the crew at the shrine's archway, bowed my head until they faded into the crowds of the shopping district.
みんなはどこかな。
They left halfway through to give me some privacy. But when I looked around, I didn't see them anywhere, just the elderly people who'd come to pray.
私を置いて解散しちゃうわけないよね。
I had to find them. Iwaimoto Shrine was a relatively large and well-kept place. Vast crowds would always gather here on New Year's. And since it was right at the end of the shopping district, you could always find plenty of devout senior citizens about. There were places where you could buy amulets or draw your fortunes. I had done my fair share of the latter in my past. Well, to put it more mysteriously, that was all just the shrine's outward face. Deeper there lurked other secrets. The locals knew Iwaimoto Shrine as one of the biggest shrines in the region. But it had another side, best known over the internet to curious teenagers all across Japan. The doll memorial hall. Not fucking dolls. Again? This was the reason for the shrine's whiter frame. It was said that old dolls carried spirits within them. Sometimes people found themselves reluctant to throw them in the trash when the time came to get rid of them. So instead, they would hold memorial services for them and leave them here.
あんまり近寄りたいとこじゃないかも。
No, it isn't. Just look at it. Look at how... I don't like this at all. The doll memorial hall is filled with rows of dolls as far as the eye could see. Most of them were Japanese dolls. Seeing just one of those in a dark room would be scary enough. So when so many of them are gathered in one location, it makes it kind of look like an occult hotspot. I wondered just how many there were. Hundreds? No, it could even be thousands. Either way, having all those soulless eyes staring at you made the hall feel like no place for the living to tread. Once, a user on a certain occult forum had reported that when they prayed at the shrine for a curse on a hated enemy, that which had been granted, the place had some cassette ever since. If you made top 10 list of Japanese occult hotspots, and this place would be on every single one. You didn't have... Why did you do that? Just then, one of the dolls suddenly became as big as a human and stood up on its own 2 feet. She was in her priestess garb, yet she still held the same creepy doll as always. She wouldn't let it go even at school. But in this place, it only seemed natural for it to be in her arms.
シャチ北部の人見ませんでしたか？鈴原先輩は見てませんか？私の愛しいダーリンなんですけど。
Kurakami had her usual depressing look on her face, so I tried joking around, but as expected, she didn't play along. Don't get involved with him. Please don't get involved with him. So much bullshit has happened. I don't know if it's because of him or because of her. But we all know how this is gonna go. She's telling her to stay away from him, and you know that she's gonna do the exact fucking opposite. Kurakami ignored me and left. What in the world was her deal? It was irrational, but didn't feel the slightest desire to have her look at me, unlike Suzuhara.
私たち黒髪先輩の家を掃除してんですから、ちょっとくらいは感謝してくれてもいいんじゃないですか？
Didn't expect her to hear my grumbling, of course. Toei Kurakami was the only daughter of the shrine's head priest. I heard she was basically never at school, and possibly because she knew she was going to take over her family's trade anyway. Kurakami family owned a lot of land in the mountains. They were wealthy and well respected in the area, so perhaps she transcended simple worldly emotions long ago.
私とは縁のない先輩よね。
布川さん
Oh god, he's here now. I jumped with surprise. Suzuhara was standing beside the hall, broom in hand. Oh no, I hope he didn't hear me. Badmouth Kurakami. Ugh, I'm the worst.
終わったの取材。
ある意味、とっくに終わってました。最後の方は世間話に相槌を打ってただけですし。
そう。お疲れ様。
Calm as ever. Most people would react in some way to a statement like that. Though I'd say the way he could coolly defy expectations like that was one of his good points. Normally, I'd be straight up offended by his curt behavior. Yet at that moment, I found it refreshing and comforting. Was I actually getting tired of people fawning over me? I thought for sure this wasn't love, but maybe I was wrong. I couldn't say I'd ever thought about a boy for this long before. No matter how many sexy celebrities and shrewd producers have made moves on me, so that maybe Suzuhara really was special. But if I were to say he was a special person to me, that was basically just another way of saying I had a thing for him.
どうしたの
This whole series, this whole game is wrong. No one else was around. Not Asuda, not Miss Hinagata, nor any passing worshippers. I found this place creepy just a minute ago, but it didn't seem that way anymore.
どうです？私これでも一応芸能人だってこと分かってもらいました？
別に疑ったことなんてないよ。
どうだか？
Though he was with a girl and a gorgeous idol at that, he quietly went back to cleaning. Almost like I was invisible. This was exactly why I wanted his recognition. I decided to stop thinking about why. I didn't need a reason. I just wanted him to look at me.
実はちょっとした願掛けをしてるんです。とある私に興味のない人をファンにできたなら、新しい私はきっと成功できるって。
He made a vague reply without even looking in my direction. He really was cold. It was seriously starting to tick me off. Yet all I could think about was getting him to look my way. So much so that I didn't care what had triggered this feeling anymore. I wondered if I should just go ahead and accept it as love. This had to be love at first sight.
先輩を振り向かせてみせますから。
できるのなら期待しているよ。
You didn't even bother turning my way. I can't stand it.
リリアちゃんさ。
はい。
Suzuhara finally turned to face me, but I froze when I saw the look in his eyes. I'd never seen such cold gaze before.
新しい自分は成功してると思う？
大成功とまでは言いませんけど、まずはいい出だしじゃないかと。
Today's interview was merely child's play. I've been getting more coverage ever since I was chosen for Flower High School, and expectations were growing. Of course they were. Magical Lily had returned after disappearing at the peak of her popularity.
それって新しい布川さんじゃなくて古いマジカルリリーの話だよね。
He's got a point. He's got a point.
取材、僕も少し耳を傾けてたけど、来てた人、君のことを高校生になったマジカルリリーとしか思ってなかったよね。
Ooh. I was just speechless. But deep down I had realized the same thing. He'd simply put it into words before I'd process it.
リリアちゃんはマジカルリリーを卒業して布川リリアに。
I mean, clearly she wants to.
あれ、クルスリリアだったっけ？ごめんね、こんがらがっちゃう。
どっちでもいいです。
マジカルリリーを卒業してクルスリリアになりたいのか、それとも高校生になってもマジカルリリーを愛してほしいのか、僕にはどっちがどっちなのかよくわからないな。夏くんにかつての君の姿を見せてもらったよ。
どうでしたか？
うん、可愛らしかったよ。まさにお掃除の国のプリンセス。とてもとても愛くるしかったよ。
A wave of triumph welled in me, but that sense of vindication burned away in the face of Suzuhara's chilling expression.
みじんもないよ。今の君にリリーの可愛らしさなんてみじんもあるものか。
That's just okay. That kind of seems like a dick thing to say. His words and icy stare were like a dagger to my heart.
夏くんも人がいいよね。リリーのファンなのに君を見て絶望しないんだから。
Natsu is a real good guy.
あの頃の天使のような可愛らしさと比べたら今の君はどう？気持ち悪く伸びた足、いびつで武骨な腕。
This can't be the same Suzumu.
天使の瞳はかけらもない。可愛らしかった鼻はどこへ行ったの？ブクブクと肥えて脂肪でパンパンになった胸、お尻。
This is not the same dude. He never would have said something like this.
清純な天使だったリリーの面影なんて今の君にはみじんもないよ。 僕は幸いにもマジカルリリーのファンじゃないけれど、もしファンだったら嘆いただろうね。あの儚く清純だったマジカルリリーがこんな豚の化け物みたいな姿になってなお自分をリリーだと言い続けることにね。
I felt like my whole world had shattered into pieces like a mirror. Things he were saying were far beyond insulting, but they were all true. My body had long since ceased to be magical. The pure cleaning princess was gone. I had these disgusting fat sacks in my cheeks, and my butt was huge and repulsive. My nose was long and pointed, and my face was horrifying. I hated looking at myself in the mirror. I knew all that. I didn't need him to remind me. His body wasn't me. That wasn't me. I knew that. This was the body of a pig, a monster.
僕は夏くんを尊敬するよ。そんな醜い姿になってもなおマジカルリリーだなんて言える君に愛想を尽かさないことにね。
I wanted to scream so loud that it erased his words. But I couldn't erase the truth. My hideous insecurities and my hideous body were both undeniable. Screaming wouldn't make them go away. I hung my head and sobbed. I was disgusted that I thought my new self could do well just because of a stupid interview. There was the faintest sense of warmth in his voice. It served as a ray of hope in my darkest hour.
君は自分のいびつさをちゃんと理解していたよ。
I really want to punch him.
だからリリーを卒業して新しい自分になろうと決意したんじゃないか。リリーで居続けるか新しい自分になるか、どちらの選択だって構わない。でもどちらかでなければならないんだよ。君はその選択をちゃんとした。そこだけは君は褒められてもいいと思うな。
鈴原先輩。
Finally understood why he'd angered me. I had planned on cutting ties with the past, yet I was so chained to it. That was why I turned into this hideous pig. I already knew this body didn't belong to Magical Lily. If I wanted to preserve her charm forever, then I had to stop lying.
もうマジカルリリーじゃないです。二度とマジカルリリーだなんて言いません。昔みたいな可愛こぶった喋り方なんて二度としません。マジカルリリーじゃなくクルス・リリアとして本当に生まれ変わると誓います。
Suzuhara smiled when I announced my decision.
リリアちゃん。
His voice came from behind me. Excuse me? I turned around to find Suzuhara standing there. What? Who had I been talking to? Then I finally noticed. I was standing all alone in front of the hall with the countless dolls and my only... I knew that wasn't him. I knew that could not be him. He would not have been that much of a dick. Suzuhara had just called out to me from behind.
どうしたの？
どうしたって。私今先輩と話してましたよね。
話してるんじゃないかな。
Suzuhara looked confused. It seemed he really didn't have a clue what I was talking about. Then who in the world was that? I thought I was talking to Suzuhara, but I was actually all alone this whole time. Wait, could it have been Toei? Could have Toei done something to try to make her hate him to avoid him? Possibly. I mean, it's possible.
具合悪いの？
いえ、まあ私昔からぼんやりしてると変な白チュームとか見ちゃう体質らしいんです。最近は治ったかなって思ってたんですけど、またそれだったみたいで。
Yes, it must have been daydream. Thinking otherwise would bring me no answers.
お稽古とかで疲れてるんだよ。社長コブ、土日の活動は無理しないで、休めるときは休んでね。
先輩。
Suzuhara's kind words spread across my heart like milk spreading through hot cocoa. He appeared in my dreams and daydreams. I thought he was cold, but his consideration here proved me wrong. This is the Suzuhara we know. I wondered just how much of my mind he could possibly occupy. He really was special, that was for sure. Well, you have no idea. With his words, consideration, support, and recognition, I would be complete. We'd only known each other for a few days. We only said a few words to each other. And yet I felt like I'd known him my whole life. It was like he didn't have those walls others had around them. And I felt for him was a sense of connection you normally only get with good friends and family. In hindsight, I might have felt that way since the first time we met. It wasn't that I was attracted to him, it was that there was no barriers between us to begin with. I used to think love at first sight was more about your heart pounding so hard you couldn't take it. Never knew it would feel this warm. That baseless sense of love at first sight was now becoming something more self-aware.
ジュースを買ってきたんだ。みんな事務所にいるよ。
私のこと探しててくれたんですか？すみません、行き違いになっちゃったみたいですね。
リリアちゃんの好みがよくわからなくて、僕の好みで選んじゃったけど、大丈夫かな？
お茶系でしたらどれでも大丈夫ですので。
Suzuhara went to buy drinks. Then the Suzuhara I saw before. No, there's only one Suzuhara. Then that Suzuhara and this one are both Suzuhara. He was Suzumu Suzuhara for sure. I could feel it. Then did his thoughts and feelings reach me or something like that? What an idea! It sounded like something out of a fairy tale. Oh well, I didn't care what it was. They were both Suzuhara, and both of them were special to me.
それにしても、すごい数の人形だね。
ですね。古い人形って思いとかをいっぱい吸い込んでるそうですからね。怨念とかもあるかも。ちょっと怖いですよね。
そうだね。そういうのもあるかも。ここ、あまりいい感じがしないから。
あれ？先輩ってオカルトとかわかる人なんですか？
A bit. You
そういうのじゃないけど。
Oh, you liar.
でも、なんとなく、そんな気がするというか。
No one would be insulted when surrounded by hundreds of these creepy dolls. But it sounded like what Suzuhara was talking about went beyond that.
意味とする場所
Way, way beyond
僕
that.
はあると思うんだ。
意味とする場所。
Negative zone?
人だって慰めるのも励ますのもどちらも逆効果になってしまう感情の時ってあるよね。
一人にしておいた方がいい時ってやつですね。
僕は父さんに場所にもそういうところがあるって教わったことがあるんだ。父さんはそれを意味とする場所って呼んでたけどね。
Negativity zones.
汚れた場所ってわけですね。
Corrupted places. Everything is about corruption in this game.
そういう場所には用事もなく近づかない方がいいですものね。ありがとうございます、先輩。これからは気をつけますね。 そうだ、実は先輩にお渡ししたいものがあって。
だったら僕にも近づかない方がいいかもね。
Oh, even he's giving out
僕も
warnings.
汚れてるそうだから。
Yeah. He said all that with a composed smile. I couldn't tell if he was serious or
どうし
joking.
て先輩が汚れてるんですか？
Who
さあね。
knows?
でもさっきやった黒髪さんが僕にそう言うんだ。僕は汚れているから二度と近づくな。不幸が訪れるって。
Man, how much misfortune has I mean, the two previous stories are plenty examples enough of lots of misfortune.
黒髪先輩はちょっとあれですからね。そんなの気にしない方がいいですよ。先輩が汚れてるなんてことあるわけないじゃないですか。
No, Suzuhara, it was love at first sight? No, something beyond that. And Kurakami said that approaching him would bring misfortune? How messed up.
ごめん。ちょっと茶化そうとして言っただけのつもりだったのに、なんだか深刻な言い方になっちゃった。
Suzuhara smiled apologetically. Maybe he had just been venting from the shock of Kurakami's scathing proclamation.
行こうよ。みんな待ってるよ。
先輩、待ってください。
I'd actually been waiting for a chance to be all alone with Suzuhara today. I couldn't do this early because Asuta and the others were watching, so this was a perfect opportunity for me.
実は先輩にお渡ししたいものがありまして。
何？
Okay, that's where I'm gonna end it with this episode of Iwaihime. So it seems Kurakami might. I feel like the second Suzuhara was Kurakami trying to keep. I already forgot her name. Trying to keep that girl from Suzuhara. Because everything that surrounds him seems to fall into despair and corruption and all that. That's what I took from that. Alright, hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of future videos of this series, of this game, and check out some of my other videos while you're at it. There'll be somewhere over there. Anyway, I don't know what else to say, except, bye-bye.